So Spider-Man is no longer in the MCU, according to all the recent news that we've been hearing, with Sony and Disney having a dispute on the character. So I wanted to make a video really soon, but I also wanted to wait for more news to drop on the subject so that I can get maybe a response or some type of statement from either one of the companies or a representative from the company. And we got a statement from Sony today, which I'm going to read. But for those of you guys who do not know what's happening, yes, guys, according to the news yesterday, many people have been covering this. Spider-Man will no longer be in the MCU. Here's what we do know. What we do know is that he has 2 more movies. Tom Holland has 2 more movies that were contract to be produced by Disney, or to be produced by Kevin Feige and be released for the MCU. After that, we don't necessarily know what his role is going to be besides that. So what we do know is that there's 2 more movies scheduled to come out, but according to this, he's no longer going to be in the MCU after that. So it leaves us with a lot of questions as to what's going to happen to Spider-Man, what's going to happen to his role in the MCU, especially since post-Endgame, the major importance of Tom Holland's Peter Parker being the next legacy, the next person to take over the mantle as the leader of this new era, the leader of this new age of superheroes, and him filling in Tony Stark's shoes. All of those questions, we have plenty of those. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today, guys. Let's go ahead and read the statement that Sony made on their Twitter. So this is one part of 3 from Sony Pictures. Says, much of today's news about Spider-Man has mischaracterized recent discussions about Kevin Feige's involvement in the franchise. We are disappointed but respect Disney's decision not to have him continue as the lead producer of our next live action film. Now, with this first statement, it seems as though Sony is saying that Disney was the one that pulled Kevin Feige away from this whole production line, according to Sony. Now, before the statement was even released, it was believed that they were having a dispute over finances, that Disney and Sony couldn't meet a middle ground. They wanted to change the terms of their agreement, and Sony supposedly wanted to keep their agreement with Disney getting a 5% cut of all the assets or everything that, Spider-Man gets, or any property that Spider-Man is involved in. So Disney wanted to change that, according to these news articles like comicbook.com, Deadline, and all these people saying that they wanted it to be 50-50. According to them, Sony didn't want that, but now Sony's saying that Disney pulled out Kevin Feige from producing the films. So this is getting quite interesting. Part 2 of this statement says, we hope this might change in the future, so they're still open to having this happen, according to them, but understand that the many new responsibilities that Disney has given him, including their all newly added Marvel properties, do not allow time for him to work on intellectual properties they do not own. Part 3, Kevin is terrific, and we are grateful for his help and guidance and appreciate the path he has helped put us on, which we will continue. So they're saying that they're gonna continue. Obviously, they have all the rights legally to Spider-Man, and those MCU fans and Marvel fans, we have never really liked that too much. We all, especially since the MCU started rolling around, we all wanted everybody to come together and just have all the properties under one roof, so it'd be a lot easier to make films and such. But according to the statement, as I'm saying, they seem to be interested in continuing to work with Disney as long as they have their original arrangement. I have a feeling that they may sort this out in some way, shape, or form, because Spider-Man has become such a very important part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, a very important part of the story. Tom Holland hasn't even released a statement too. It's probably his publicist and everybody probably tell him to stay quiet about the situation. But also, it makes me raise the question, just because Kevin Feige is no longer working on the Spider-Man films, does that mean that Sony is gonna write their own stories and make it be a part of the MCU somehow? Will they keep Tom Holland, or will they try to reboot the entire reboot the entire Spider-Man character again, which I personally will not like at all, because Tom Holland has been the best Spider-Man by far, in my opinion, for both Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and has done a great job playing the role. So I don't want to see anybody else taking on this character, and that's just my opinion, at least not right now. I think Tom Holland has a good 10 years more that he can play Spider-Man. Honestly, I really feel, because Tom Holland's around my age, but he looks a lot younger, so he can get away with playing Spider-Man up until Spider-Man or Peter Parker is up until his mid to late 20s, right? At that point, Tom Holland will be in his 30s, but still, he can still play this for at least another 10 to 15 years. He can be Spider-Man. So and look, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield all played Spider-Man when they were in their late 20s to 30s. So Tom Holland can definitely do that. So I would really hate to see this actor get stripped away from the role, get stripped away from this whole world. I'd really hate to see that, because Far From Home was a great film. I seen it again and it was just awesome, and it got me so excited for the next era of the MCU. Now, this all just boils down to money, guys. It boils down to money, it boils down to deals. And again, according to Sony and their statement, this more has to do with Disney than it has to do with them. I don't know how true that is, because I feel like Disney, I don't see why Disney would need the money for that, but I'm guessing maybe because they saw that Spider-Man just crossed over $1 billion in their box office, they probably want a piece of that. They probably want a piece of that pie. It's always money. The discussion is always money. It's always about money, almost all the time. So I don't know what's gonna happen with this, guys. No one truly knows what they're gonna do. We can only predict that hopefully they resolve this in a way that pleases everyone, both fans and the suits, the people who are in corporate or whatever. Hopefully it pleases them and pleases us as the fans. But also, I feel like personally Kevin Feige wouldn't mind having the challenge of keeping Spider-Man in his universe. He's been doing this for 10 years. He's been doing this for more than 10 years, actually, with this whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's nothing hard for him. This is like another day at work for Kevin Feige. I know he would love to continue working with Spider-Man. And him having the X-Men and him having you know, all the new properties Disney just acquired, especially, you know, their old Marvel characters. It's like, I feel that Kevin, yes, it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy to do. It's going to be a hard task to accomplish, but I still feel like you would love doing it anyway, because you can feel this man's passion in the films, in his world that he helped create, in the directors that he chooses, and the way how they all write stories. And I feel like, you know, he would just love this either way. So guys, you let me know down below in the comments what you think about this entire situation. Like I said, I feel personally like, you know, they're gonna come to some conclusion with this, and maybe they can start working together. Disney threw out an offer, according to these articles, and Sony didn't even come with a counter offer. They wanted to keep the same deal they had going for the past few years, which I think is kind of stingy. But, you know, I saw this meme, and it was posting like, if you know, Spider-Man is the only thing that you're riding on for your success as a company, then you shouldn't have him. You know, like, what's the issue? Like, you know, you have Spider-Man, you're banking on Spider-Man for the success of your company, and that's the only thing you have to go off of. I mean, it just really sucks that, you know, we're in this entire situation. And I had a feeling this was going to happen at some point, because their contract, you know, was coming to a conclusion anyway. So it's just a matter of time before they would either have to, you know, renew the contract or do something else to change everything. By the way, this is a really good Photoshop job out of him. This picture I'm looking that I have up right now, man, it's a really good Photoshop. Some good Photoshop done on this picture, man. It's really, really nice. But anyways, y'all let me know your thoughts down below as usual on the entire subject. Again, what we do know as of this time of the video is that there's 2 more movies set to come out with Tom Holland as Spider-Man that's going to still be produced. There's 2 more movies that we know is going to come out. Whether he's going to still be in the MCU after that movie has yet to be revealed at the time of this video. So anyways, guys, let me know your comments down below. If you guys want to see my MCU villain ranking, please make sure to check out my tier list ranking in the last video. I had a lot of fun making that video, guys, so check it out, and I'll see you in the next one. Clockmaster.